Hey everyone, Timmy Chuck here, and in this video I want to talk about one of the three systems that every business should have installed so that they're not having to wear all the hats and you can get the right people in the right seats doing the right things at the right time, and so that you're not chained to your office, so you're not risking reputational damage within your business, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Your bottom line, all of the benefits that come from having stability in your business. So we're going to be talking about one of the three systems today that every business should have, which is your value creation system. So this is one of three systems. I'm going to cover off in detail what it is, how to create it, how to think about it, and then how to go about deploying it within your business. So your value creation system, the other two systems, so out of three, is you've got your team performance management. So this is your hiring, your onboarding, your training, your roles and responsibilities, your performance management. So team performance management system, and then the other is your leadership system. So this is your KPIs, this is your vision, mission, values, this is your quarterly objectives, the stuff that's moving you guys in the right direction. So these are the three systems every business needs. You've got your team performance management, your leadership system, and today we're going to focus on probably one of the most critical, because this is how you create value, this is how you create customers, this is how you collect cash, this is what keeps the lights on within your business each month. So let's get into the value creation system, and this is all around your systems, your processes for how you get your clients, how you deliver your product or your service, how you collect the cash, all of the things that need to happen in order for you to even have a business and keep the lights on each month. So let's start by giving a little bit of context and adding a better definition around what the value creation system is. And really, if this is your client, they go from having a problem to having a solved problem. So your business being a vehicle for your clients to solve their issues. So whether you're a doctor, a roofer, a law firm, people come to you because they have a problem or an issue, a challenge they want solved. They give you, there's an exchange of value. They give you cash, money in exchange for you helping to solve that problem, right? And to the extent the gap between the problem and the solution is the exchange of value, and the bigger the problem, the bigger the pay, right? And so as you begin with your business, again, regardless of what type of business it is, as you start to take on more and more clients within your business, there are more and more activities, right? So you got to think about requests for quotes, answering, managing emails, the delivery piece of the equation, delivering, fulfilling your product or your service. You've got the marketing, the sales, all of these hats, right? And so we have a bus here because typically in the absence of what we're going to be talking about, which is your value stream, entrepreneurs quickly get overwhelmed. This is the classic S curve. They get overwhelmed because they're trying to, in the absence of having a good system, they're either trying to do everything themselves by wearing all the hats, right? Or they hire a team, but things are still not running smoothly because they have an absence of how things are done properly. And to make up for the absence of good systems, they're spending a lot of their time. I'll draw a bus again. That's a terrible bus. They're spending most of their time kind of bouncing around, micromanaging, checking on things to make sure that things are running smoothly. So answering questions, solving problems, fighting fires, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is typically where most businesses, they either plateau here, or the business owner they'll start to downsize because they'll think, you know what, I value the quality rather than the quantity. I'm going to just kind of get things small again, so I'm not going to be as stressed out. And so we're going to go and shrink a little bit, and I'm just going to stay happy here. Let me just delete this here. So a lot of business owners at this stage will kind of taper and they'll stay here, right? This is like the lifestyle business. Now, if you'd like to hit that Venn diagram where you've got the growing business, the growing profitability, yet you're not having to sacrifice your soul. You are able to have the time freedom, freedom of time and flexibility to make coming into the office optional. If you want to have that Venn diagram of having a growing business, right, while having freedom at the same time. So you got freedom and you got growth. We need to have a system in place so that the system does the managing and the leading for you, 80, 90% of the heavy lifting. You're not having to micromanage, you're not having to chase people, you're not having to fight fires. The system does the dirty work for the most part for you. And when you have a system in place, there are so many side benefits, obviously, like your turnover. You're going to have a happier team because you're going to have less drama, less, I thought this person was doing it, less throwing people under the bus, all the benefits that come from just having clarity around the who's, the what's, the where's, the when's in the house. And this is what we're going to address and resolve over the next couple minutes. So now that we've got the backstory on what is a value stream, or at least the necessity for a value stream, let's define it a little bit further by thinking of it as, we say stream. It's kind of like a river, right? Because it assumes that we've got a front and a back, right? It's going in this direction. It's kind of like a conveyor belt. And if you think of your business this way, in terms of a value creation system, right? Where we have on the front end, you have your marketing activities, and the marketing activities serve to help you acquire new leads, educate, nurture those leads so that they can eventually, so this is marketing, this is acquisition is kind of the goal here for leads. Conversion is the goal of the sales. So having your systems and your processes geared around in the sales piece to move these leads, let's call this a lead here, to move them forward to this could be an RFQ or it could be an actual sale. So let's call that a sale. And then you got your operations right here. So we got sales here, operations here, and operations is where you fulfill on your promise. This is a little box. So that's you delivering. And then we confirm that we are maintaining and managing our cash flow. So that's the finance. These are the value added for all businesses. You need the ability to acquire leads, convert those leads into sales, deliver and fulfill on your promises, and maintain the cash as you go through. So that is a bit more of a definition behind what the value stream is. Now the question becomes, well, how can we capture this in such a way that we're able to communicate and have the left hand know what the right hand is doing as we start to hire and bring people on board. So if we look at and visualize your business through the lens of this value stream, where you have the components here, you got your marketing, that's the lead acquisition, lead nurturing. You got the sales, that's the conversion. You got the operations, that's the delivery and the fulfillment. And then you got the finance, that's the cash and the resources for you guys to continue to make it another day, another month in business. If we understand these main buckets and we understand that a value stream is a system, then let's talk about what a system is here. And really a system, if we begin with the end in mind and we look at the nature of your business, remember we were talking about your clients, right? And you have a system for solving problems. So if we look at the end result for the client, that is an output. So in other words, client gives you money, and in exchange you deliver the output, which is the result. So we have an output. Every system has an output, and you think about the system of how you get water into your house, for example. That's a big system comprised of subsystems, right? These are like subsystems within your business system, marketing system, sales system, operations, etc. Right? Using the water analogy, there's the inputs and the outputs, right? So the output is getting water into your house, but there's all kinds of things that need to happen in order for that to happen. So that's the input. So you've got the activities that drive the water appearing out of your faucet. There's all these activities, those are the inputs, and those are what allow you to achieve the desired output in any system. So if the nature of a system is inputs and outputs, right? Clients, their input is money, and our input is a result, product or service. That's the input and the output. The question is, how can we do that reliably and repeatably without us having to do it all ourselves? And we have all this tribal knowledge in our brains, but we want to be able to do that reliably on repeat for our clients in the long run. How do we do that? Well, we started already by defining the system, right? You got the input and the output. Customer gives you money, they give you the green light, you deliver the thing of value. So if you're in construction, you're building the house. Now the question becomes, we can now look at and define the subsystems. So subsystems are, remember that water analogy, right? Water getting into your house. There's all kinds of things that need to happen. You got the water facility here and the whole network of pipes and systems to get that water into your house and ultimately into your bathroom. All these little subsystems. You've got your heater tank and all that kind of stuff, right? To make that happen. So in your business, your subsystems, if we break it down, we can give them different names, but marketing, we'll give it that name. The inputs and the outputs are the activities. So what are all the activities that drive the output, which is leads? We'll call them leads and appointments, right? So for most business, it's some sort of a combination of you're getting contacts, you're getting repeat purchases, right? There's only so many ways a business can grow. You're either getting new clients, you're increasing your average ticket per purchase, so you can bundle, you can grow your business that way, or you're getting your clients to repurchase, and you're creating a bit of a feedback loop here through like Google My Business reviews. You can have referral campaigns, etc. Right? So those are the ways that you can grow, and so marketing, running campaigns, for example, promotions, creating these lead magnets, all those activities. It doesn't matter what they are. We're clear on the outcome. And that's where we want to start with any system is what's the desired outcome? What's the desired result? And so the activities will fall in line with that. And then the next question is, well, who on our team is responsible for these activities? Who on the team is responsible for those activities? And these activities are going to start generating, you can imagine in the future, you've got this chart of accountability, responsibility. These will be the hats across your business. And the question will be, if you have somebody over in marketing who's in charge, what are all the things that they're doing in order to achieve this result here? And so this is where, if you can understand your business at a whole, and we'll get into the mapping and all the stuff later down the road here, but understanding fundamentally the nature of the inputs and the outputs. The inputs are the activities, and then the outputs are the desired outcomes for each one of these subsystems. And when you understand the relationship in terms of thinking about your business again as a system comprised of subsystems, then this process is going to be much, much easier. It's going to make a lot more sense when you start to build and map this stuff out. So key takeaway here are, you've got your value stream here. So this is your value stream. And the goal here is to get clients, let's say clients on demand, and to deliver fantastic results on repeat. You're going to have a map that indicates what the activities are that are going to drive consistent leads, consistent sales appointments, etc. And outcome for the sales team is conversion. So what are the activities that lead to the goal, the outcome of conversions? So this is, account management. It's staying in touch with your prospects. It's working your pipeline and following up with your quote requests, etc. So there's a number of activities that need to be done here for this role, operations. You've got things like your client intake process. You've got your fulfillment process where you actually build the thing, deliver the thing, and then deliver it. And cash collection would be the next on the finance side here. So you have these lanes. They're all interrelated because one step kind of goes to the next here, right? So if you think of these in terms of another analogy for the subsystems is the human body, right? You got the circulatory, the muscular, and nervous system, etc., all geared around the desired outcome of being a healthy human being. So once you understand the teams and we understand what we're building and why we're building it, now we can move into the first map that we like to teach in our program, which is a process scoping diagram. And so what is a process scoping diagram? Well, if this is the front here, this is your business or whatever process it is that we're defining. I usually draw them like this. And we have a template as well. If you guys would like access to that template, comment process scoping diagram underneath and we'll send it to you. But remember those subsystems, right? We got, for example, marketing, sales, operations, finance. So what we usually do, we'll call this our company value stream. So we understand fundamentally, here's the process right here, which we've defined and we've illustrated. And we can craft, using our template, what are the activities, what are the main activities required or that happen during this stage of our business. So these are the main activities. So we've got the what's here and the when's, and then we have the how's here in terms of the activities. Usually when we start with this process, we don't go too far into the weeds. We just want to get clarity on the 30,000 foot view of the what's and the when's, and we can get into the who's and the how's in greater detail later. But we usually start just by listing out the main activities that we do in each one of these processes here, main activities. And in the future, these are the activities that will create the roles and responsibilities and the job descriptions. But for now, we want to get clear on systems, thinking in terms of your system first, the process first. What are the stages? What are the main activities? And then desired outcomes is underneath here. And so here, you can imagine for marketing, it would be leads, sales appointments. If we're talking the very top of your funnel, you might be looking at for main outcomes, your social media is you've got more likes and follows and stuff like that, if we're at the very top of your funnel. But what are the desired outcomes so that we're not just for the sake of staying busy? What's the purpose of all of these activities? How do we know that we're successful? These are the inputs. What's the desired outputs? Because when you understand this relationship, this is where you can start to develop your KPIs, your key performance indicators, or your targets within each of these, which in the future is going to help give your team clarity around the what's, the when's, the how's, the who's, but then you'll have the ability to measure how are we actually doing? Are we doing well? What's our target? Where are we against our target when it comes to, leads per week? Appointments. If the desired outcome is appointments, how many appointments do we want per week? And what are the activities that we're doing to drive those appointments? For sales, what's the outcome? Converted sales, conversions, RFPs, or RFQs, requests for quotes. So it doesn't matter in many ways when you understand what your desired outcomes are, then the activities are the things. These are the inputs that they're servants to the outputs. So the outputs are kind of the main thing, because this is what's going to, when you look at your value stream, this is what's going to move things through. It's a stream, right? And if you understand the relationship and the chronology behind these stages in your business, then we can go in and diagnose when we have problems where the bottlenecks are, right? So if you have an abundance of requests for quotes, for example, yet your productivity or your delivery is really bogged down and slow, you could have a bottleneck here. And you can start to diagnose and drill down on those bottlenecks when you understand how your business kind of functions at a high level 30,000 foot view. So this process scoping diagram is a great starting point for just understanding what you guys do current state. And then the name of the game over time, once you have agreement and clarity over your business and how you do things, you now have a basis for improvement. Because if you don't have a single source of truth for how you do what you do, how do you know if you're getting better? Because you can't really compare yourself to anything. So we start with that, with the process, however you want to pronounce it, scoping diagram. And then from there, once we have this, agreed on by your team at a very basic, simple level, once we agree on the what's and the whens, and you've got the activities, right? Activities, and then the outcomes, desired outcomes. Now we can start to get into some the next level of building out your value stream, so everybody can have a single source of truth. This is where I usually use swim lane diagrams for this, but this is where you can get to you've got your start for your business. We can get into the mapping where we start here. Here's the first step. This is where we've got an inbound call, customer calls, inbound call, and then the question is, what happens? Is it a existing customer? Is it a new customer? If it's a new customer, it goes to this person, we do this. If it's an old customer, it goes to the account manager, we do this. And then what happens? Do they need a quote now? If so, we go here and this person quotes. If not, we go here and we add them to our schedule or whatever. So mapping in this way is the next phase, getting into the weeds, the granular weeds of who, what, where, when, how, at a very clear, articulate level. This becomes possible when we start with the fundamental 30,000 foot view. So again, what we're talking about here in this training is a value stream. We started out this video looking at your business from a 30,000 foot view, right? We talked about your business being a vehicle for solving problems for your customers, right? And we talked about the nature of your business. If it's a vehicle, we'll use this bus here. As your business grows, if you don't have a system in place for the who's, what's, when, how, etc., most of us, if we don't have a solution for this, we're going to bump our heads against the ceiling, and we're just going to stay here until we figure this piece out. So the value stream is a very critical piece to have in place for your business, so that you guys can have a single source of truth. You can have a basis for having conversations, for improving, for solving problems, for diagnosing problems, for getting clarity over the who's and the what's and the when's and the how's, and for measuring performance. All of those things can't really happen until you have this thing in place. So again, if you're interested in that first diagram, which is the great first place to start, just type in process scoping diagram underneath this video and we'll fire it your way. If you're interested in taking your business to the next level and installing these systems without having to reinvent the wheel, right? So we're talking about the three core systems in your business. You got your value creation, which is what we talked about here today. You've got your people system, your HR system, your performance management system. So that's your hiring, your onboarding, your performance management, and then you've got your leadership system. So this is your vision, your mission, where you're going. Are you actually going there? Your quarterly objectives, your Kaizen, your continuous improvement. This is how you get people, right butts in the right seats, rowing in the right direction. These are the three systems that every business needs. And if you're interested in installing these systems into your business without reinventing the wheel, you can visit us at bookwithtim.com, and we've got a application there that you can fill out, schedule a time, and we can look at your business, see if we're a good fit. Other than that, I hope this was useful either way for you. Great place to start. It's actually kind of fun when you get into building this stuff out, because it gives you clarity for what's already in your brain. It's already up here anyways, most of what you do. So let's get it out of your brain, get it communicated so that you can really take things to the next level in your business. Hope that was helpful, guys, and we will see you in the next video.